Hello, and you are welcome to the Ladies Court, the July edition. Yippee! I'm so glad and full of joy to welcome you to this month's edition. And yes, I forgot to tell you that the Ladies Court became 1 year. Like, Ladies Court clocked 1 year last month, June. Yippee! Ah, well, I need to just do this straight away. I need to appreciate every one of you who have always made it a point of duty to come online, to come on YouTube, to click our subscribe button, and of course to share and like and comment on the ladies' court, which I always call TLC. You can see the hashtag on your screen. All right, my name is Tosinfayo. If you're watching this video for the first time, I wanted to say movie, anyways, don't mind me. If you're watching this video for the first time, you can always subscribe, to my YouTube channel. You can just click on the subscribe button. It does not bite to do so. So please just do it right on. All right. So the Ladies Court is a program where we get to discuss issues that bother women or that actually point at women generally in marriage. So it's basically for married women. Well, unmarried women or married ladies can also participate in it as we sometimes discuss issues that also concerns them. All right. So today or on this month's edition of the Ladies Court, we'll be talking about yes, physical changes in ladies after marriage. Physical changes in ladies after marriage. And I bet everyone will be able to relate with this. Like, we all have something to say. We all have our share of the experience after marriage, what changes about you or what changed about you. Which one did you like? Which one did you not feel good about? Okay, so I'll be starting with myself, like sharing my own experience as a lady while I was growing up and before and after marriage. Okay, yes. So to kick off immediately, yes, let me say a very big thank you to you all for coming by or stopping by to also click on this month. And of course, I bet you're going to enjoy this one. Okay, so talking about changes, what is the meaning of change? Yes, change actually means a transition or a transformation of a particular thing or person, as the case may be. Okay, so now we're talking about changes that occur in your body system after marriage as a lady. Okay, so while we were growing, or I said I would start with myself, while I was growing, I was a tiny being, like no flesh, nothing except for the hips I was blessed with or that God gave me. Okay, so but growing up I was liking the stature, but well I was very young. I hated the stature because I felt cheated everywhere I go. And I just felt people would just talk to me anyhow, look down on me like, okay, they wouldn't even consider my age. And I had, siblings that were, big, like cousins and all of that, and they would be revered, they would be respected when we go out together. And I'll just look at myself like, what's the meaning of all this? Okay, so I did not like the stature. But when I was growing up, university days, started falling in love with the statue because like the respect it accorded me. Oh, university, you know, yeah, this small girl, university and all of that, whereas age was, you know, really reading on me. But then, yes, after the school days and all of that, graduation and so people still look at me like, okay, this young girl, graduate and all of that. So now after I got married. The fine stature I was always loving, the flat tummy, I was just as, flat as what I can put it, like maybe as flat as pancake. Okay, that's the best thing I could use. Anyway, so I got married and the whole thing changed. The stature was not what I used to think it would continue to be. When we are still, singles, we always love some, fine stature, figure eight that give us some, good look when we go out there. You choose the clothes you want to wear, the stature does not get to choose for you. So you keep loving yourself until when you get married. So when I got married, I had the first baby, yes, the second baby, and then I was working that okay, this tummy will get back to the shape and all of that. The flat tummy, I wanted it back so badly. But hey, guess what? It never came. Like it has not come up till this time. So, there are a lot of things that change in us and we feel bad about it. And of course, we look at ourselves and we feel like, oh no, this is not what I bargained for. And that's why you see some ladies out there, they never wanted to get married. And some of them are still decisive about it. They still don't want to get married because of the stature. They still want to maintain the figure eight. Some of them would even adopt children. They will not get married, but they will adopt children. Some of them will get married, but they would prefer to stay. Yes, like that. Like I don't want to give birth to any child so that to not spoil my good shape, my figure eight shape, and all of that. But hey, is it worth it? Well, it depends on individuals, anyways. But hey, there are still things we can do about the physical, changes we always experience in our system. All right, so I'll be considering a lot of things here. So talking about the physical changes in us as ladies after marriage, there are a host of them, and we would notice them or we have noticed them already, since we got married, vis-a-vis the body adjusting to the new normal, the new system, especially if you were, a virgin before you got married and you start, the sex thing and all of that, your body start adjusting to it. And of course, in my own case, when I first got married, the first 2 months, I started feeling my tummy behaving funny, my body just, acting funny as if like I didn't even know if I was pregnant or not, but in no time I just discovered okay, pregnancy had set in. All right, so it's a lot. Like when you get married, if you're not prepared for it, you may not need to go into it. But it's not worth it. Like saying you don't want to get married before because you want to maintain a particular stature. There's this joy it gives you when you get married. There's this joy it gives you, especially when you get married to your own husband. Like okay, so there are a lot of people they are just seeing marriage as one monstrous topic when they talk about it with them. But hey, there's still some people that when you talk about marriage, they feel this joy inside of them. They are happy that yes, they are in it, they're not enjoying it, but they're really, really enjoying it. Okay, so we get to, our body gets to, experience some changes, adjusting to the new normal, childbearing, the changes that come with it, the breastfeeding. When you are breastfeeding, there's this way some people will have it their boobs will just shoot out, and of course some people would have it that okay they have to just change the you know cup, the breast cup they use and all of that. So it's a whole lot. So it varies from one person to another, the changes we experience. Okay, so trying to work on all of these things, some people, I'm still okay even, some people would add so much flesh. In short, it's not more adding with flesh. Some people will really really be fat, like they will be on the big side after getting married. Like my sister was not very fat when before she got married. After she got married, I saw her 6 months or a year after. I was marveled. Like I had to open my mouth and I was like, sometimes it's hereditary. It's not because of what anybody has eaten. It's not because you were careless. It's not because most of the time, anyway, some ladies are careless. Once they get married, they just start munching at anything that comes their way. Okay, they live large, and especially when they are pregnant, they eat for two, they eat for three, they eat for four, and all of that. So, do we really need that? Yes. Okay. So this is what I'll be saying right here. Yes, if you notice that all of these are happening to you after giving birth, you still feel that you still want to get back to shape. There are a lot of things you can do. Go to Google, go to YouTube, reach out to, doctors that are in charge of, your childbearing after you give birth, pediatrician, how can I forget that? Okay, so just Google anyone that can help you out after you give birth to a child or you've given birth to all the children you want to give birth to. You start working on the stature if you don't like the one to do, go gymming, take some things that will help you out, but be watchful what you take. You must consult your physician before you take anything as it has to do with your health. Okay, so we have to be very careful what we do. And yes, a lot of times some of us, our husband will tell us you are too tiny, you need to add some weight. But then after adding the weight, you are the one that will bear the brunt. You are the one that will be in charge of the weight. You're the one that will be carrying yourself. It's not your husband. But what can you do when your husband is actually requesting that you add some more weight? Well, it depends on you. It depends on your agreement with your husband. Maybe before you got married, maybe he could have told you that. Maybe he didn't tell you. And yes, well, anyways, long before some of us got married or entangled in the business of marriage, we were slave queens. Like I said earlier, we were slave queens and always giving so much details to whatever happens in and out of our body, plus our outlook, the dress we put on. But then the moment we got married, the moment we got down the aisle, we got so busy. Like we were busy is worrying us, and we do not even have time for ourselves again, or we almost don't have time for ourselves. Once the children come in, yes, the children have to get the prior or the overall attention. Yes, sometimes we don't even have to give ourselves any attention again. We don't have time for ourselves again. But there's still some way around it. We can still work it around. We can still make sure that we look good even after we're married. Mind you, our husbands out there, they like us to still sleep. Like, yes, they want to marry, a slave queen as well as a mom and wife. So they don't want you to be a mom and wife without slaying. They want you to get out with them. They want to go out with you. And yes, people get to look at it the second time, like, okay, are you sure? Are you sure this person has had children at all? That's what they want. It's a pride for their husbands when they see their wife looking so good and all radiant. But a lot of times you want to wear some good dress and your stomach, your tummy will dictate to you what kind of clothes you wear, what kind of clothes you don't wear. It happens a lot. Some people will choose to resolve to using gajol. Some people do not like it, like me. I don't like using gajol. But then some people result in slimming tea and all of that. But those things sometimes do have some adverse effect. But hey, maybe you go gymming. Some people really do have pains in their bodies when they go gymming. And yes, once you do it frequently and then it's already part of you, your body begin to master it and get used to it. You don't feel the pain again. So there are a lot of things we can do. Let's just check out other things we can actually involve ourselves in when it gets to taking care of our body. Then we should check our weight almost every day, or not every day, almost every week. Timely. Go to the doctor, check your weight. You can even have the scale at home and weigh yourself. The body temperature needs to be checked often. And of course, a lot of things like that we must take into, you know, consideration. You must not just sit down there and feel like, okay, I'm a mom now. I don't have time for myself. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. You sit at the television and you're lounging, all through the day. You don't have the work you do every day. You don't go out. You don't, sometimes some people will even suffer themselves by skipping breakfast, which is the most important part, which is the most important part of the meals for the day. No, the most important meal of the day is your breakfast. You don't have to skip it if you are not fasting. Yes, and I have come to understand that, like, according to practitioners, they've said that when you skip breakfast, you will get bigger. Yes, it doesn't stop you from, gaining weight. You get more weight or you gain more weight when you skip your breakfast. You can find out that if it is not true or yes. Okay, so you don't have to skip your breakfast. You don't have to suffer yourself. And some people say they don't want to sleep. If they sleep, they will be getting fat. No, you don't have to stress yourself and lose your sleep at the same time. So once you need rest, take time to rest. Watch what you eat. Some people eat into 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m. Watch what you do to your body, your system. Watch how you eat, what you eat. Carbohydrates at night maybe may not be too good. If you are doing it, you may have to do some, vegetables with it. Okay, so there are a lot of things we can actually consider to make sure that our body system is in good shape and our shape, our physique is interesting. When people look at us, they look at us and say, yes, I love this stature. Yes, when your husband looks at you and says, your husband will not go out to help you look for what will make your flat, your tummy flat, or what will make you, look physically okay. Because a lot of the husbands are out there looking for what you and the children will eat, even though you also work, fine. You also bring money to the table, fine. But you need to work on yourself so that you get better every day. Your husband looks at you and have to look at you the second time and the third time and the fourth time, and of course, you cannot just resist. Yes, that can happen, and you can always make it happen. Yes, okay. Just to give us some, tips on how we can actually, you know, control the body or the physical changes we experience as ladies in our marriage. I'm not talking about emotional changes right now because that might be another topic for another time. But the physical changes, once you start noticing that you're getting big and big and big, you can download. There was one thing I did. I downloaded a particular exercise, like two of them on my laptop, and every morning, if I skip it anytime, any moment I remember, I take it and I go about it. You can always exercise your body, walk around if you're at work and you always sit at the table or at the computer for a couple of hours. You can just time yourself. There's 10 thank God for smartwatches now. There's or your phone can even remind you, set a reminder, remind yourself that okay, it's time to walk around so that you don't just sit down for too much of hours and say you're working because it will not help. And then you get to a point that your body even start complaining about your sitting, posture, and of course your sitting timing. So if you sit for too long, it has a way of affecting your back. I've had it before. I've experienced it. So you need to also work on that. And yes, sitting too much makes you go, lazy and of course lethargic. Like so many times you don't even want to stand up to do other things. So you need to time yourself, be disciplined, control whatever you do, control whatever you eat, control whatever you take in there. All right. So you need to look good all the time, not only for your husband, for yourself. When you get out there and people see you, they don't have to, that is what is happening with body shaming. When people don't work on what they eat, don't work on themselves, their look. Some people are less concerned about how they look. They say that's how God created them. Sometimes that's not how God created us, but because of what we do, our actions and inactions, our indiscipline and less concerned attitude. That's I mean, there are a lot of times we kill ourselves with all these things and we don't even know it. All right. So we have to start working on ourselves and we have to be intentional about it. All right. So this is me telling you that it is always very interesting and it's a pride for you when you have a good physical shape, when you have a good time with yourself. Okay, so don't be too busy that you don't have time to attend to your own self. Yes, it happens in this kind of society where we find ourselves, but hey, we need to be intentional about it. Don't forget the word intentional. You need to be intentional about it. You need to look out for yourself. A lot of people, many people don't look out for you. You are a mom. Yes, you're looking out for the children, looking out for your husband, looking out for many other siblings and the likes. You look out for your parents even. So if care is not taken, nobody's looking out for you, and you're not looking out for yourself. So we have to be very careful and know what we are doing. Thank you. Yes, so we have to be very careful, and we have to, take note of everything that goes inside there. And yes, we must be intentional about it. Don't forget to consult your physician if there is anything you want to take. Don't just take anything. Don't do self, medication. Yes, you're not sick, but yes, there are a lot of times we go over the counter and you just get anything or you get anything from anyone. All those things have their implications. They have their side effects if we are not careful about them. Okay, so I still remain your testifier. Thank you so much for joining me on this show for this month of July. And thank you for making it worthwhile always. Yes, thank you so much for coming around to download, to share, to like, to comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to press or to hit the subscribe button. Yes, it's a plea. Yes, don't forget. Please do so. And yes, may God bless you. For everyone who have been there for me all the time since this started last year. I told you we're a year in July, I mean in June last month. And yes, it's just been you, and because you have been there, that's why it's always been successful. Thank you so much. Keep being you keep being you, keep being nice, keep standing by, keep coming through for Tosinfayo. Yes, of course, I cannot trade you for anything, and I can't even explain how much you mean to me. Thank you so much, all of you. And yes, you can get me on Facebook as Oluwatomisin Sugar Olakimiola. And yes, on Twitter, I am at Tosinfayo. I am at Tosinfayo. Yes, yes, at I am Tosinfayo on Twitter at I am Tosinfayo. Yes, I had to change it. It was before I was using at Tosinfayo, but now it is at I am Tosinfayo. The T in Tosinfayo is capital letter T, so you can get it fast. And of course, for Instagram handle, yes, you'll get me as Tosinfayo with R, Tosinfayo. Tosinfayo with R. On Facebook as well, you can still get me at Tosinfayo without R, Tosinfayo. All right, so till I come your way again next month, August, yes, with another beautiful and exciting topic and of course with a guest. I won't be the only one talking on this show next month. Yes, do enjoy the rest of July and continue to dominate. Bye.